YouTube, good evening, Facebook, okay? Yes. Okay, good evening, everybody, okay? Yes. Good evening, yes. Yes, good evening, everybody, okay? So while we are waiting for people to come in, tonight is a very important property talk. Now, clearly, I'm always into wealth management, your asset management, and one of the misconceptions a lot of people have is that Mr. Lu is anti-property. Okay, anti-property. I'm not anti-property. Okay, that's why I want to do this talk tonight. To show that I'm not anti-property. Okay, but I'm anti people who overstretch themselves. Okay, that's one. And the other one is that I'm anti people who over-tamba everything into property. Okay, that means that they are in their life they have this misconception that property is the only way to make money. Okay, that I have a serious issue with. Okay, so I want to correct this kind of misconception. Okay, but anyway, that doesn't matter tonight. Tonight really is to invite an expert here to give you an update of what the property market is. Okay, yes. So the property market is quite. Good evening, Thailand. Good evening, Yuki. Okay, good evening, everybody. So so maybe let me just give you a what does this 3 code means. The three codes are more for premium, more shopping codes. Okay, yes, you can key in and try it. Okay, you might get interested to buy some bags. Okay, so let me just introduce Mr. Dragon Tan to you. Okay, now Dragon Tan has been a friend of mine for quite.
I think almost 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, almost 3 years already. Let me tell you how fervent he is to look for me. Okay, usually when someone texts me and say, Mr. Lu, I want to meet you, I say no. Okay, too many. I can't meet everybody. But he was very at that point in time very passionate about meeting me, and he said, wherever you are out right now, I'll come and meet you. I said, wow, so hard sell. Then just happened that day I got 2 meetings separated and there's a gap in between. So I said, okay lah, if you don't mind meeting me, I got this short gap or period of half an hour, 45 minutes. I'm happy to meet you. So he really came down. I thought he's going to hard sell me something. No, he just wanted to meet me and say hi, okay?
And give a good thank you.
Yeah,
to Mr. Lu.
And I was like, wow, it's just like a very genuine person, very genuine, no agenda, just want to say hi, meet me, and from there onwards we became friends. Okay, he always called me Seafood, which I humbly I feel that I learned a lot from him in the property market rather than he thought I teach him. Okay, but I feel very humble. Dragon Tan is not just a real estate agent, but he is a super real estate specialist and professional in the real estate. He's been in this market for over a decade. Okay, and you see, people call it the real EC expert.
Thank you for your kind words. Yeah.
Okay.
Still learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's known as the EC King. So at one point in time, he transacted so many executive condominiums that he called EC King of Singapore. His commission will make some CEOs companies look very small.
No, I'm still doing a decent job lah.
Yes, he's very humble, very nice person.
Like Mr. Lu. Yeah.
Most importantly, he is usually my first signal about property changes. Okay, usually he's the one who sound me off first. Then I quickly double check all my other signals. Okay. And all the time, he's correct, far ahead of other people. So it is very important in your life to meet radar. You know radar. World War II. World War II, only Americans have radar. They could sense things changes far ahead. In your life, you need to meet a few radars. Okay, he's a very good radar. And today, I kid you not. Okay, I kid you not. He's here today, and I want to tap his radar for everybody. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, give a blast of likes and love for Mr. Dragon Tan. For today, he will come as a property expert and professional to provide you the latest radar of the property market. Okay, I give a blast of love and like. Okay, yes, blast of that. And for those people on YouTube, especially, please remember to give a like and subscribe. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. Maybe I hand it over to you just to say a few words to our audience.
Hey, hi. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Lu for introducing me in this manner. 我有点不习惯了，有点不习惯。Yeah, because to date I'm still learning, especially from the younger people as well. In digital marketing as well. I'm still learning from Mr. Lu. So first of all, while we're waiting for more of our friends to come on board, maybe I will applaud to all of you or sit to all of you to like the channel, whether it's on YouTube or on the Facebook or Mr. Lu platform, as a way to support him, because I feel that over the last 1 month I've been monitoring his live streaming. I think that he's putting in a lot of effort to come up with a lot of topic, a lot of analysis, a lot of reports here and there, even the Russian-Ukraine war, which I learned something so different from him as well. I think that this one requires a lot of energy and a lot of effort. Please do support him, like more on the YouTube or on the Facebook, like and share. And Mr. Lu, I've been know Mr. Lu for the last around 4 years, way before the COVID time. Now, how I managed to know him is way back in 2016, 2017, I started to contributing my own CPF. Without a knowledge and a direction. Why am I supposed to do so? The only thing why am I doing so is one thing is for tax relief, correct? But eventually there was one time there was a talk organized by the CPF board at the Suntec itself, and that was Mr. Lu, I think 80th talk or 90th talk, something like this. So he's the one who seconded this opinion, and which made me so-called which made me so convinced that my actions of self-contributing my own CPF as part of 1M65 is the right thing to do. And along the way, I think for some of you who have attended our webinar last year, over the last 2 years, I think we have a few webinars, me and Mr. Lu. I've actually met a few Singaporeans who are CPF millionaire by the time they reach the age 50 plus to 60 plus. The highest was 1.4 million at the age of 60 plus. So I'm very convinced. And since there, I want to share this greatness to as many people as I met along the way. Unconditional, because we don't benefit anything from it. And that was one day I feel so strongly, so immensely grateful to a person who shared this selflessly, that I text him, I go and search his handphone, this and that, I text him, I want to meet you. And when I met Mr. Lu, I thank him. Alright, so this is how we met.
That's all he did. Came and thanked me, fly all the way from don't know where, just come and thank me and just say, I just want to meet you and thank you. I was like, he must have a hidden agenda. He wanted to sell me something. I'm sure he wanted to sell me something. But he didn't. He just came down and said thank you, And I was like, wow, a very genuine person. Okay. So therefore, I think, hey, give me another round of applause. Very,
thank you. That's how I so-called I treat Mr. Lu as like my angel in life, a mentor, a 贵人 so-called. So I just want to, with due respect, this is something that I want to help him to I always say 发扬光大. 发扬光大 sounds but I just want to share the benefit of CPF to as many people as possible.
Cool.
And this has been ongoing for the last 3 to 4 years. And no regrets, and in somehow rather this has forged our friendship.
Yes.
Alright. So more or less, probably for people who don't know about me, and today probably is the first time that you met me, I'm still a practicing realtor in Singapore, and I'm also a trainer. I have my own training academy as well. So reasons why I love to do sales, it's not because of the money, alright? The money is for the bread and butter, to bring the bread home for the children, for my child as well as for my wife. Now, typically I love to do sales because I just want to understand what is the ground movement, what's happening on the ground, so that I can relate this to as many agents as well as to Mr. Lu and my friends, and to update them the market movement as well. Alright? Yeah, so back to you, Sifu.
Thank you. Okay, so for those premium more people who came in for the handbags, and so there's you can put shop +1 to go to our Shopee page. More importantly, there's a SF1 +1 and SF2 +1, a special deal there. Okay, not SF +1, okay, SF1 +1, SF2 +1. Okay, cool. All right, good. Okay. Well, let's start let me give a very today will be something like that day with Mr. So Chin Heng, a Q&A session. Okay, today I decided no slides. Slides is way too painful and long. Okay, so I've decided more Q&A, but it will address a lot of some of your questions as well. Okay, so so are you guys ready? Okay, if you guys are ready, give a blast of light so that I know. Okay, I don't want this to be a monologue. You can fly in your questions, okay? In case I don't answer them now, okay? We will answer them later along the way, okay? Cool? Okay, now I'm trying to get my staff. I forgot to activate them, so my staff is not collating the question for me. So please pardon me if I miss a question, and later you can ask again, okay? But let's have a few questions to kick off to get general market sense first. So Chai-Ling is ready. I think only Chai-Ling is ready. Usually Chai-Ling is the most kilat, you know. The rest of you are more interested in handbags, okay? Okay, so let's start. Okay, let's start. Right now, the biggest trend, Dragon, is that the whole market right now, there are two big trends. Number one is there's a unbelievably bull run that's still shooting up. Okay, I don't believe in that, you know. But the day when you told me I was in Europe, I double checked with all my sources. Wow, the bull run is xiong. Okay, it's still going. And the second question really is the funny thing is that the interest rate has also taken off. Okay, the interest rate has taken off, and I want to really discuss these two broad topics first. Okay, maybe you give us a feel right now. What do you see on the ground right now on the property prices going up? Okay, is the property prices still going up and going up strong? And how do you think where is it going up? Where is it going up fiercest? Where is it kind of tapering? Or some market, if there is, you know, I don't think so, even going down or things like that. Okay, so maybe over to you on this one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Sifu. Okay, Sifu. Before I go into answering this question, okay, probably before I answer that, let me update you about the ground movement first. The whole thing has been ongoing for the last 2 years. Now, what has happened over the last 2 years? I think people know COVID. There was a lockdown.
Sorry, it's SF1 plus 1 and SF2 plus 1, not SA2 plus 1. Sarah Foxtrot 1, Sarah Foxtrot 2, okay? Not SA. There's no SA, okay? Sorry. Go ahead, sorry. I disrupted you.
So, before I answer Mr. Lu's questions, so probably I'll let everybody have probably what is happening over the last 2 years. Now, of course, we know that we have a COVID, there was a lockdown, and then there was a series of supply chain, all right? Not only on bags. I think right now bags is one of the hot thing. Watches as well. Now, then what happened to the property side? Singapore had I won't say a lockdown, we call it a circuit breakdown. So border is closed or is restricted. Over the last 2 years, we see the rental price. Probably I just go to a basic first, average HDB. Probably 2 years back or before the COVID, it was around rental over around 2000 to 2002, 2003.
For what size?
For probably a 4-room flat.
Okay.
All right. Easily go as high as 3,005 in Tampines area.
You kidding?
Pasir Ris area. Not kidding.
HDB 3,005 for 4-room flat.
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
Probably it will go up by as high as 30 to 40% rental.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Years.
Wow.
Over the last 6 months, especially, the rental price went up to the next level. So who are the people who are renting the HDB? Mostly, all right?
Lisa will answer your question later. I got one question prepared on that. Okay.
Everybody chill. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go slow. So people who are renting typically, are they the foreigner and the PR? Correct? Yeah, most of them are PR and foreigner. Now, number two, the border is restricted. So most of our Malaysian friends who are PR and as well as who are on air pass, they used to commute daily to and fro. Of course, right now, since 1st April, they're going back, you know. I won't say they're trapped in Singapore because of circumstances. Okay, all the safety measures, they have to be in Singapore. And suddenly 300,000 people who used to commute daily has to stay in Singapore. But where can they stay? It's not hotel. It has to be relatively HDB or probably condo as well. So at the same time, the last few years, we have a lot of mega launches. Okay, mega launches like Affinity, all right, Treasure at Tampines. What else? Probably I would say Florence Residences. launches, there's 1,000 plus unit. And who are the buyers? The buyers are Singaporean. And people these days who bought new launch, back then, over the last 2 to 3 years, who bought new launch, in order not to pay ABSD, they have to sell their HDB, correct? If people who understand what I'm talking, please give a 1. Alright, please give a 1.
Or at least
likes. At least like something.
Likes
So
only.
at least I understand that you're not lost, okay? So what happened when they sell the HDB? Unless they have a place for transit at their parents' place. But most husband, trust me lah, I'm a husband to my wife as well lah. Yeah, most husband prefer not to stay with the mom and dad lah. We try to have a harmonious relationship lah, correct? Yeah, because life is really stressful at work. Going back home, we just want a harmonious family, correct? So most people, having bought the mega launches, they will rent HDB, if not a condo, alright? And a lot of condo, the construction are being delayed for around 1 year to 2 years because of COVID as well. The construction workers, the manpower has issue, COVID of issue, sometimes the work has to halt and then resume again and halt. Alright, so number 1, 300,000 of Malaysian workers commit to and fro. Number 2, mega launches. So what happened is that the rental went up by 30 to 40%. Alright, this is happening in the market. Alright, this is really happening in the market. So people who are renting the HDB now, who are the foreigner or the PR, how will they feel? Wow,
Bertahan.
bertahan already. So
Yeah.
what should they do?
Buy.
For the PR to buy is easier because for the first property, you need to pay additional buyer's stamp duty, 5%.
Okay.
For the foreigner, probably our friends who are foreigner, probably it's a bit tough lah because ABSD is 30%.
Even for the first one. Oh
It's
wow.
30%.
Wow.
So they cannot solo lah, you know.
Wow.
Cannot solo because meaning that you buy something that's 1 million, you need to pay 300k extra compared to Singaporean buyer who are first timer. All right.
Good. They buy more, then pay more tax.
Correct. So I think that this is something that really distinguishes between Singaporeans who are the first time buyer as well as foreigner, as well as PR. PR is only 5%. All right. So as a result, rental goes up. Of course, me, if let's say I'm a PR, I'll choose to buy. All right, rather than continue to rent. Correct? Makes sense. So currently, for the last few months, I see a strong demand from PR buyer. PR buyer who is as young as in the mid to late 20s to early 30s. They are coming into the market, but they're not buying HDB. Don't get me wrong, because for PR they need to attain 3 years PR status before they can buy HDB. So most of the PR they'll buy condo. All right. Now there's a difference
Oh,
between
HDB, you can be PR for 3 years
3 years.
before you buy. As a PR to buy a private property, you don't need to wait.
you know to wait.
But
So
you
when
still have to
get
pay
the
5% ABSD.
Yes, you have to.
I see. But to buy HDB, do you need to pay ABSD?
Oh, yes, you have to as well.
Also 5%.
And then you have to fulfill your status eligibility as a family status, PR and
Oh,
PR.
sure. I see. Okay.
Unless
Okay.
PR and a Singaporean,
Yes.
then there's no issue. You can
Yeah.
tap onto the other spouse who is a Singaporean just to buy a
Sure.
HDB.
For just to interrupt here, for those people who only can come in for a little while, this is a very important talk. You all underestimated the impact to everybody's life. Of all the talk that I've organized, CPF affects everybody, insurance affects everybody, property affects everybody. Okay, so if you do miss out this one, don't worry. Just follow us on our YouTube channel. The YouTube you can type 1M65YT+1 and click subscribe. Okay, I'll make sure this video is recorded on YouTube. Okay, 1M65YT+1. Sorry, go on.
Okay, so talking about PR, can I be blunt here? I have to be blunt a bit because I don't want to say always the nicest things, on the video. Because for people who really know me, I'm a person who is very blunt, but I don't want, neither am I offensive as well. Now, this is how I feel about the market movement because I have quite a number of listings in my portfolio, and every time when there's
Listing means a property to sell.
correct property to sell, and each time when I conduct the open house, there are two groups of buyer. One is Singaporean buyer, one is PR buyer. Just be blunt a bit and somehow I can find the strong motivation reason behind PR buyer to just see the house. If the price is okay, they will just offer and commit on the spot.
Really?
Yes, as commit to Singaporean single, for example. because my own personal opinion, and I feel that everyone has entitled to their own perspective and opinion as well. Nothing right, nothing wrong. I feel that Singaporeans are quite homey.
Is it?
They are very comfortable staying with their parents, doing their laundry, cooking for them.
Sure.
So when they know, despite the fact that when you know that the price is correct, they still ding dong here, ding dong there,
Take their time.
and wondering if the price will
Go down.
or probably go lower.
Yeah.
But for the PR single, they just offer grab, pop.
On the spot.
Very decisive.
You bring check on the spot.
TT lah, typically.
Oh, TT. Okay.
These days,
Sorry.
these
Sorry,
days
I'm still living in 10, 20 years ago.
these days the buyers they do TT.
Okay.
Correct. Of course, before that we prepare the document. They'll just sign.
Sure.
And then eventually TT.
Sure.
So this I find that it's very interesting. Since then and since now, I think it's still applied. Because I ever speak to a friend who's a Singaporean already. Used to be from China as well as PR, right now Singaporean. He was telling me from China, maybe their friends who are from China here. They have this mentality when they're 21 or when they reach adulthood. The first thing that they want to do is to buy a house. Buy a house. Because they feel that this is part of adulthood. Alright. But for Singaporean, a lot of my friends, the mentality is that I'll only buy HDB when I reach 35. And the first thing I want to do when I reach 35 is to buy HDB. So I feel that this mentality has to change a bit. I've been encouraging all my younger cousin, my niece, my nephew, is that whether is it BTO 也好, condo 也好, or whatever, when you think that you are ready, financially you're not overstretched, you can start as young as you are in your 20s. That's all. Because only when you start your first property, then along the way, typically the income will get higher and higher, so long you have a career progression. Only then you will start second property. Start early. It's like family planning. Family planning. I'm not talking on behalf of our late LKY Akong. Family planning, you have to start earlier. Reason is because I started late. I become a father at the age of 37. So right now, my boy is 4 years old. I'm 42. And right now, you ask me to go for my second one. I'll procrastinate because there's one thing that can never be reversed. Your youth. So asset progression is not only on when you're going for family planning. Now back to Mr. Lu's question.
Yes, property prices.
So currently in the era of seller's market.
Seller's market.
Seller's market.
Okay.
Correct. And I noticed one thing. Quite a number of homeowners who sold their HDB or probably who sold their condo back then. Alright. Currently they have issue looking for the next purchase.
So they sell before they buy.
So a lot of people they sell before they buy.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They sell before they buy. So right now it's a bit challenging. Okay, what is the reason? Probably because supply is getting lesser. Supply is getting lesser in the market over the last few months or last 1 year. And a lot of people are buying. So otherwise there's isn't many supply in the market, and that's why currently that's motivate the reason of with the PR coming to the market, probably that's motivate the reason why the price are edging higher for the condo. But of course, there's a certain limit that the single PR are buying. Typically, they are very comfortable at around 900k to around 1 mil. So that's for your update.
But nowadays, 900k 1 mil is just HDB.
Yes, correct.
Right? Okay.
Yeah. Probably an EM can cost probably 900 plus K as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And jumbo in Yishun is already 1 mil already. So this is it's a 30-year-old HDB.
I'm waiting for this one to go 1 mil. But no difference to me. 1 mil or 2 mil or 10 mil, I still need a place to stay. Yeah.
Question is that if you sell high right now for your next purchase, unless it's something like you buy something below value, but probably I don't think in this market you can get anything below value. If anything below value, which is too good to be true.
I know what. Anything below value, most likely haunted. Someone tell out before some goes there.
It can be a scam as well.
Or it could be a scam.
Yeah. So if let's say anything is below value, probably way before that we are being informed it's already sold. So I will say that we have to be open-minded as well. Open-minded. If you sell high, end up that you buy high. So it's a zero-sum game
Sure.
But typically, right now, buyers who are buying, as what Mr. Lu mentioned 2-3 weeks back in Europe,
Sure.
they are really buying for genuine needs, for their own needs. no speculation here, no trader, because having said that, there are so many measures along the way. Last 12 years, since 2010, we have the first measure until now. I think probably we have 11 to 12 measure. None of the measure are removed. And they cannot be removed. They will never be removed. Probably lesson 1, 2, but they will never be removed. Because easily a lot of Singaporean are millionaire household. For example, if Mr. Lu today, he liquidate his EM, easily he and the wife probably worth 2-3 million on hand. My dad as well, my uncle, auntie as well, their HDB right now is worth at least 700-800K fully paid. With their CPF is easily $1 million as cash on hand with CPF. So if let's say all these measures have been removed, voting already, the property prices will jump like hell. Right? So it will never be removed. So don't need to ask me the question, the measure will be removed. No. The prices go up too high or too fast, more measure will be introduced. And why am I so sure that the prices will continue to go up? Okay. Back in 2009, you all remember what happened back in 2009? Anybody remember?
2009?
It's a financial crisis, right?
After 2008 global financial crisis.
2008 was the Lehman Brothers, September.
Then it spilled over 2009, yes.
Correct. So what happened? What did US government do?
Print.
They print money.
Yeah.
For the start. 700 billion, correct? For the start.
Yeah.
And then what happened to the prices? Around the world, not Singapore. Yes, correct. Now, 2 years back, we had a COVID. This time around, more 夸张. It's all online. Trillions of dollars. And just January, 3 months back, before the Chinese New Year, I read this article. 60% of the USD right now in the market is printed over the last 18 months. Last 2 weeks, I was reading another article. It mentioned that 80% of the USD is printed over the last 2 years. So I get worried. You know why I get worried? Because a lot of commodities like oil, as well as gold, are pegged to USD. When there's overprinting of USD, right, what happens next? Inflation, hyperinflation, or Mr. Lu did mention stagflation. I'm always learning things from Mr. Lu. Every time I'll catch his video, even though he's in Europe. So this is a worrying thing. But do you think that our government is worrying as well? Yes, definitely. Because typically the price has to be controlled. Don't worry, Singaporean and all my Singaporean friends, okay, the government will do something. They will not let the prices go out of control. That's what Mr. Lu said. You make money this round and happily, the problem will fall back on you 20 years later when your kids grown up. They cannot afford.
Nobody really benefits when, I'm not saying nobody, very few people benefit when the property just go up and up and up. Yeah. You make money now, the price will be paid by your offspring. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think Mr. Lu is very, very right on the spot. There's somebody who mentioned about political. I think, yeah, probably political. We don't know. But I think that Singapore is a small country. Basically, all humans, we need the basic needs first. Correct. We don't want to end up like Hong Kong. When the young people cannot even afford tea, all right? Even a basic property they cannot afford. What happens next? There'll be social instability.
Okay.
Right.
So clearly the property prices is still chonging up. Okay. I think one of the things that, by the way, I'm taking note of some questions. Okay. One of the things that's clearly going up right now, ever since a few weeks, 2 weeks ago, is that the Federal Reserve has announced an increase in interest rate. Straight away, the impact hit across the world. Okay. So right now, maybe you give us an update. What's happening to the interest rate now across all the banks and things like that? Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Lu, today I will help you to address the whole thing.
Sure.
Okay, so before Mr. Lu say, let me say on behalf of Mr. Lu, for people who are here on the YouTube, don't be so meow. There are 300 plus of you. Please like. I only have 100 likes. Okay. For the Facebook page as well, please like and share. Wow.
Oh, thank you. He's expert. You watch too many of my.
I'm your fancy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Interest rate.
Interest rate is going up.
Sure.
For sure. The fixed rate, I think right now hover around 1.5 to 1.6. Yeah. I think 6 months back, 7 months ago when we we are having a YouTube as well. I think last year in July, we had a similar live streaming on YouTube. That time, I think that probably the interest rate is around 1%, fixed rate. 1 to 1.1.
1% fixed.
So right now it's around 1.5 to 1.6.
Okay.
Now, with the interest rate going up, okay, and how will it affect the property? Now, first of all, I have to ask ourselves this question: why must the interest rate goes up? Have you asked yourself or not? Okay, you have to think deeper. Why interest rate have to go up? Do you notice that a cup of coffee right now is 140? It's not 120 anymore. Do you notice that a tray of eggs used to be $5, right now it's $7.50 to $7.80? I'm sorry, I sound like an uncle who go NTUC fair price. But this is called inflation. Now, when inflation going up, everything is going up. Property price is not going down, it's going up as well. So to curb the growth, okay, to slow down the growth, rates have to go up. Alright? To me, it's a happy problem. When interest rate goes to zero, it means what? It means that the economy is... Okay, sorry, Mr. Lu, because I'm not economist. Mr. Lu is a first class honours in Stanford, right?
In NUS,
NUS,
MBA in Stanford.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I don't want to be 班人弄斧, but this is how I feel.
Sure.
Interest rate go up, to be honest, if I think it positively, okay, a cup of glass, whether half filled or half empty, is up to your perception. It's a happy problem. It means that your asset is also going up.
Sure.
So and that's why interest rate have to go up.
Yeah.
To curb the growth, to slow down the growth.
Sure.
Interest rate go down to zero means one thing leh.
Economy is very bad.
Very bad leh.
Yeah.
Market crash or
Economy
whatever.
very bad. That's why they have to bring the interest rate down.
They want you
zero.
to spend money. They want you to loan more.
Very
alright?
good.
So this is how I
See,
perceive.
very good, right? Non-economists also understand this very well.
I dropped out from NUS for info, but I graduated with a diploma in radiography, X-ray.
Very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll just continue.
Yeah.
So I did share with quite a number of occasions. Now back then in 2006, you can find online 2006. I have a close friend who is right now an analyst in one of the offshore banks in Singapore. Yeah, she's an analyst as well. 2006, she bought a 2-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom condo, all right, in Kembangan area, 600 plus K, all right, 600 plus K.
200?
206.
206.
Correct. 206.
What kind of size is that?
It's a 2-bedroom. I think it's around 900 plus square feet, around that range.
It's a private or?
Private
Okay.
condo.
For how much?
600 plus thousand.
600 plus thousand for a very small apartment.
You can check the history online, the
Sure.
index interest rate.
Sure.
Back then, the interest rate is 3%. 3%.
Wow. Okay.
It's not the current interest rate right now.
Yeah.
But that moment in time, 2006 to 2008, all right, before the Lehman Brothers, it was a bull market for Singapore property market. Bull market. And there's a time where there is no measure. Meaning that if I have a mom, I have an old elderly mom or elderly dad who's not working, he can still buy a condo. So long that there's a guarantor. There wasn't any TDSR. There wasn't anything called MSR. Alright? Sorry, I'm using a lot of jargon. There's no ABSD.
Yeah.
So long he has somebody who can back him as a guarantor, he can buy a condo and flip and subsale. Back then in 2000, late 2005, 06, you can buy a condo, probably is 1 mil to 1.5 mil. Within 6 months to 8 months, you can flip for probably for 100 and 200,000. Within 6 months. That is the time. No regulation. Anything that is not regulated, anything that's not regulated, like
Sure.
crypto, it can go up very high. That's not regulated, right? When it crash, right, it can crash a lot down. Alright, anything that's not regulated. Stock market, I don't think the overseas stock market is regulated as well, the US stock market. But in our property market, should I use the word being regulated?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's being regulated with so many measures since 2010 until 2022. And right now the people buy are because of genuine needs. And currently, of course, the supply is very limited. If for some of you who are active in the market, you know that the supply of the new launches are getting limited and limited.
Why is it so?
There's a strong demand. Very strong demand among the
basically what you're saying is that the supply is being wiped out very quickly.
No, one thing is strong demand. Number two, if you notice about the government land sales over the last 2 to 3 years since COVID, it's not been released a lot because construction has slowed down. So government has to think twice. I think that government is having a headache as well. I'm not trying to be a government. I do not know what government is thinking and coming next. I don't have a crystal ball.
Sure.
But I believe that they want to ramp up the supply. But construction, you need manpower, and there's COVID going on back then. So I can't release a lot of supply. I can't overpromise you, you know.
So they struggle. Release also wrong, don't release also wrong. Yeah.
So this year alone, we're going to have a few launches. One is coming soon at Piccadilly. One is at Lentor. One is at Ang Mo Kio Avenue 1. Condo launches. They'll be as high as 2001, 2002 PSF.
What?
The new launches.
Not even in Orchard Road.
Okay, not even Orchard Road. These are the city fringe.
Wow,
the
say, man.
OCR.
Okay.
The outskirt.
Okay.
Because of the higher land bid, the material cost goes up. Alright. So this is what will happen. And this year there'll be 2 EC launches. One is at North Gaia at Yishun, coming soon in next week, the preview. And one more is in October, around October to November at Tengah New Town. The EC will be very hot.
Tengah?
The one at it is
Yeah,
surrounded
Tengah.
by Choa Chu Kang,
Yeah.
Bukit Batok, and
鸟不
Jurong.
生蛋的地方.
Oh, it's going to be a flamboyant place in
Really?
future. Another
Wow.
Punggol, a town with 3 MRT, and there'll be a business park called the Jurong Innovation District, probably occupying 20%. So I can foresee the growth, and for the younger people to apply there, strong demand over the next 10 to 20 years.
Cool.
EC is going to be 1002 to 1003 PSF for this year. All right.
Unbelievable.
I'm an EC owner.
Yeah.
I bought my EC in 2015. That period of time is hover around the range of 750 to 850 PSF. All right. So back then, I still remember when I'm marketing other launches, new launches for EC at 850 PSF. I have buyer who tell me it's so crazy, the price sell. I'm not going to buy. Right now, 1002, 1003. Trust me, there's still be buyer telling me that I'm not going to buy. But there will still be another group of buyers who will be ready to buy. All right. This is the reality of the market movement right now. Inflation going on. So now typically if you ask me how is the market going to be like 5, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years later, it still be going up. Of course, along the way it may, there's some correction going on. Now this correction, 2 things can happen unless the government come with a very harsh measure. And what harsh measure is going to be on loan. Because back then in 2013 when the TDSR came out, the market slowed down for 2 years.
Sure.
I have to be honest here. All right. Now, will the property market crash? I don't think so. Because it has been regulated for the last 12 years with so many harsh measures. And Mr. Lu time back in 1990s, 1997 or 1996,
Okay.
there was a Asian financial crisis. Back then, prices just go up. Again, back to what I say, anything that is unregulated, it can chunk up. But when it crash, right, it can crash all the way down.
Sure.
A 800K condo at that point in time crashed to 400 plus K. And one of my colleagues, he was ever caught in this scenario.
Sure.
And there are people who go bankrupt. But I think the government learned along this way. So all the measures are here to protect us. We have to think positively.
So back to interest rate. So right now we only see the start of the rise of the interest rates. So now, because like what you say in the past, interest rate were at 3%, right? And things like that. So what does it mean for someone? What does it mean for someone if the interest rate were to go up now by, from they bought a house thinking that it'd be 1%. Now the mortgage, if let's say they take a, do you have a calculator? But take a $1 million loan, okay? Is it common for people to take $1 million loan now? Is it common?
Yeah, it's very common. It's very common.
Very common.
For a couple to take a 1 million
It's
loan.
not common for me, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, but let's say it's a $1 million loan, okay? For 30-year loan, let's say the interest rate were to go up from 1% to 2%, just 2% first. How much does it mean for their mortgage every month?
Okay, before I work on the mortgage loan, I'll be showing you an app. I don't know whether it can be seen clearly. I doubt so. I doubt so.
But, name the app.
Okay, but to finish up the question on the interest rate,
Sure.
all right? So just now I was mentioning this friend of mine, or good friend of mine, she bought a 2-bedroom condo at 3% interest rate back then. The mortgage loan was 3% at 600 plus K. 2 years later, back in 2008 itself, she sold for around 900K. Interest rate is 3 to 4%.
Sure.
So right now, if you ask me, how will the interest rate affect you? Of course, you pay more interest. No, but how will the whole thing compute? Okay, very simple. You can just go to any website that has this thing called the amortization calculator. Now, what is amortization calculator? Meaning that this app will help you to break down based on your age, your loan tenure, as well as your loan amount. They'll break down into two things. All right, your money installment is being split into monthly interest as well as monthly principal. All right, money interest and monthly principal. Now, principal to me is for saving. 10 years, 20 years later, if let's say you're buying for your own stay, when you sell at the same price, you get back this money. Interest is a cost. Interest is what you pay to the bank for their service. Have to pay for the bank. They lend you money. You need to pay them a service fee. So interest is money. Now, what you can do is that, now I don't know whether you can see here or not. I don't think we can see clearly, Mr. Lu.
Yeah. You just calculate it out for them.
Yeah. So, okay, basically, I just do a calculation.
1 million?
First. Now, let me see. Now, assuming that I am borrowing 1 million.
It's common nowadays, 1 million. It's not common for me. But it's very common nowadays.
And then you're borrowing for 30 years, for example. You're still young, you're borrowing for 30 years.
Okay.
And then your loan amount is 1 million.
Yeah.
Your money installment is 3,451. All right. Based on
1%.
1.5%.
1.5%. Okay.
Of course, you go for SORA, floating rates is lower. All right.
Yeah.
Probably 1.1, 1.2.
Okay.
Now, fixed rate is 1.5. Okay. Now, let me break down for you. Based on a money installment of 3,451, 3,451, your money interest is 1,250. Your costing, money interest, 1,250.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to emphasize on the principal. Principal is for saving.
Yeah.
I want to emphasize on the costing first. Now, right now, assuming that the interest rate become 3%. 3%.
Okay. Double.
So, right now, your costing or your interest per month is 2,005.
Total installment?
Total installment just now was 3,000. Just now the based on 1.5.
Yeah.
Just now your installment was 3,004. Now based on 3%.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything more than 2.4, 2.5% for a very long time.
Sure.
Yeah. Right now it's 4,002.
So go about $800.
$800.
$800.
But doesn't mean that this $800 is interest. Is both interest and
the money installment.
Principal. Now, if you're buying a second property, whether you're doing decoupling, all right, decoupling. A lot of people are doing decoupling.
What is decoupling?
Now, decoupling is where husband and wife, they own a condo, 50-50.
Yep.
And then the husband and the wife, they decided that, hey, come, so long the income can support, all right?
Sure.
The husband will buy over the wife's share, or the wife will buy over the husband's share.
Okay.
For one of the party to exit,
okay.
So for them to buy another condo. It may not be a big unit, it can be a smaller unit.
Sure.
For the purpose of renting,
okay,
or leasing out for the next 30 years.
Sure.
If you're buying a second property, I call it a second property for rental investment. Your tenant will pay the monthly interest for you. The tenant will help you to force save because they help you to pay the monthly principal. So long the rental can cover. All right.
Yeah.
So 30 years later, the house will still be fully paid by who? By
the
tenant,
tenant,
not by you.
Yeah.
Because remember, the interest is paid by your tenant.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah. But looking at it, even if the interest rate were to, now I understand, even if interest rate were to double, the impact is for $1 million loan is about $800. Based on Singaporean income today, I wouldn't like it, but not insurmountable, right? Yeah.
Okay. Singaporean income. Okay, it's very subjective, it may be because of the people that I met.
Sure.
And probably I don't really meet a large sampling of people.
Sure.
But I find that the youngsters these days quite homey.
Yeah.
Because back then when I remember that I used to work as a dispatch. Okay, I share with you. I used to work as a dispatch at Raffles Place back in 2001 after my army. My pay was 1050. 1050, and I can save $600 every month.
Really? Wow.
That was how frugal, how thrifty. And
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So, but when I was in the hospital and I last left my service at hospital back in 2008, my pay was around 3,003. 28 years old. All right. No car, nothing. The only mode of transport is BMW, bus, walk, bus, MRT, correct?
And walk.
And walk. So
BMW.
Yeah, BMW.
Bus, MRT, and walk.
Or bus number
That's
11.
good, right?
Bus number 11. How to go Pak Tor? Pak Tor also very simple, right? Go hawker center lor.
Yeah.
These days, right, the younger ladies, right, probably the expectation you date them to go hawker center 完蛋了.
My first date was with BE was hawker center leh. 叫完汤米eh.
Oh, wanton mee,
Yeah.
I eat bak chor mee lah.
Yeah.
85 market, yeah, bak chor mee, my
Okay,
favorite
anyway.
spot. Okay, anyway, I met quite a number of young buyers who are in their 25, they just graduate, 25 years old from SUTD. The starting pay, he was working in James Dyson, the starting pay was around 5,000 plus. Wow.
Really?
The young graduate.
So high now SUTD
it
not even
probably depend on-
NUS,
It
SMU.
depends on their job nature.
Sure.
I met young professional in their early 20s, mid 20s, 26, 27, who are in sales. I don't know what sales. Probably it's IT sales. Their income was around 9,000 to 10,000 for a lady.
IT very high now.
And
Programmer very
okay,
high.
just like I mentioned, I just be blunt because I met so many people. Nothing against guys. These days I find that Singapore has a lot of 女强人. Probably out of 10 groups that I met, and I always do a lot of financial calculation. It's not uncommon. Most of the ladies, the wife or the girlfriend are making more than the guys. Maybe the guys have to go army. Yeah. Maybe.
The guys make more. Sorry, the ladies make more money so that they can buy handbags from my wife. From my wife.
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
Right.
Probably out of 10 groups, 6 groups, most of the ladies are making more. I think that yeah, it's a equal, you know. Yeah, 社会平等. So okay, so this is the trend that I come across. Very, very common. Alright. So correct. That's what I want to share about here.
Okay. Yeah. So my take is that now I understand. Now having talked to Dragon Tan, I understand right now that really the interest rate rises while it is an increase in cost is not overwhelming. I don't foresee Singapore interest rate going beyond 3%. I do foresee Singapore interest rate going up and up and up because the Federal Reserve has already openly announced that they will do up to 6 revisions this year. So I will imagine the interest rate will go up and up and Singapore will go up and up. So, but you know, even if it doubles from what it is today, okay, 1.5 go to 3, $1 million loan costs now from additional $800, sub water for a lot of people okay. So I wouldn't think that is so big a deal, and I can understand now why. Of course, some people will feel bad, but I can understand now why. Along the interest rate, maybe a Dragon can give an advice right now. Is that should people take up fixed or floating rate right now, or what's the gap right now between fixed and floating rate? Interest rate, okay. Sorry, to start off, maybe you can explain what is fixed and floating rate first.
Okay, there are 2 types of rates, so-called 2 types of rates. There can be many packages offered by the bank, but 2 main. One is fixed rate. Fixed rate is something that is very certain. Over the next 1 year, it can be a 1-year package by OCBC Bank, 1-year fixed rate.
Usually fixed rate is for how long?
It can be 2 years, it can be 3 years, it can be 5 years as well.
Wow, okay.
Alright, so meaning that the next 5 years fixed. But generally, if you go for a fixed rate, the rates will be higher because it's very certain as compared to floating rate. Floating rate right now probably 1, 1.1, 1.2, still lower. Alright, but of course,
so floating is 1.1, 1.2.
Around there, yeah.
Okay, and
even
fixed
less.
is how much now?
Fixed 1.5, 1.6.
1.5, 1.6.
So typically,
okay. About 4.5%.
Yes, and generally, if the fixed rate is for a longer duration, the rates will go even higher.
So if I take a 3-year fixed rate right now, how long will it be? How much will it
Probably
be?
1.6 to 1.7. Yeah.
1.6, 1.7.
Correct.
Okay.
And of course, depend on the individual bank.
Sure.
Individual bank as well. Sometimes bank may have promo because they want to have a larger market share, boastingly. So they want to have a promo.
Sure.
Now, so my own personal opinion is that if you are, for me personally, I don't mind to go for probably fixed rate for 2 years. Otherwise, I will go for floating for 2 years as well. I personally feel that back to what I mentioned just now, I think that interest rate rise is actually a happy problem. The asset price is going up. Correct. Your asset price is going up. So if you look positively, probably for that extra $200-300 that you pay a month, depend on the quantum of your purchase and your loan, probably your property prices are going up by 50K to 100K. So that's how I perceive.
Karen just took a 5-year fixed rate at 1.5%.
Correct.
Okay,
That's a good
I
rate.
think it's probably a very good rate and probably wise to do that right now. Given that I think the interest rate is not inconceivable to rise to way above 1.5%.
Correct. Actually, for Karen wise, right, I think that the 1.5 is quite a good rate. For the next 5 years, you're very certain. Now, back to the question. If let's say the last time that back on interest rate, the last time that I see the interest rate hover above 2% was back in 2009. 2009. All right. Now, there was back in 2009 during the post Lehman Brother crash, interest rate went up to 0%. And then probably the bank interest rate is around 1% for mortgage loan for quite some time, all the way until 2015. When I bought my EC, it was around 1.5. Why? Because the economy activity started to get improved. Eventually, 2009, the interest rate went slightly above 2%. Why? Because back then, remember, if you remember, 2019, there was a series of en bloc fever going on. It's also a sign that economy is getting better. More funds, more liquidity are injecting into the market, followed by a lot of mega launches. Remember? And back then, all the mega launches, like Florence, Affinity are selling 1,500, 1,600 PSF. What did the buyer tell us? To the realtor in the market, crazy. But today it's all fully sold. Okay, so that's more or less.
That's good. Okay, so the $1 million question, the $2 million question. The first one is, can we still buy property? Should we still buy property now? The second question is the reverse. Should we sell our property right now? Okay, so these two questions have came out already, right? Maybe you want to give your opinion?
Okay, sure. So, now should we buy property? If you're buying for your own needs, you're getting married. For the younger Singaporean, it depends on your income as well. Okay, everybody start from basic. My first resi is also a HDB. It doesn't matter. Alright, doesn't matter. Along the way, think positively, you work hard, you just have the grit in life, you still have career progression along the way. You can slowly upgrade. It doesn't matter. Alright? Nobody is born to fly the day one. I'm a slow learner, to be honest. I started slow as well. Alright? So long the budget wise is okay for you, you think that you can finances, and as husband and wife, young couples, you all have to work together. Alright, start with your dream home. It can be a HDB first. Eventually, you can go for your next purchase. It can be an EC in future. It can be a condo in future. Alright, this is what I can share with you. Otherwise, these days the trend, I have seen couple who probably bought a HDB under husband or the wife name. The other half is being an occupier.
What do you mean?
Okay, reason is because today if you buy a HDB, you still need to fulfill 5 years MOP. You cannot sell.
For a new BTO.
For whether a BTO or
resale?
Resale can take grant. That's the best part.
Okay, let's say if I don't take grant, is there a minimum 5 year?
Of course, if you don't take grant, in the event next time if you apply for BTO or EC, there's no need for you to pay a resale levy.
Sure.
You're still considered a first timer because you never enjoy subsidies at all.
Sure.
Now, you can do it this way. Okay, so long the loan permit, the budget permit, financially you're comfortable. You can have your husband or wife or whoever, fiancé or fiancée as one of the applicant, the other being the occupier. And upon the 5th year, so far there's no ruling that's being introduced. In future, I don't know. Okay, so this is what I see a lot of people are doing in the market. If upon the 5th year, the occupier will buy a condo. Because why? They want to keep the HDB.
Oh.
And then because it's occupier, it's not the main applicant, so there's no need for the occupier to pay an ABSD as well.
Okay, so the HDB rules is that you don't need to put 2 person as co-owner. So 1 person as the buyer and 1 person as the occupier.
Correct.
But they can be husband and wife.
They can be husband and wife.
Can both their CPF be used?
Okay, because it's occupier, everything, the income, the CPF is tagged to the applicant.
So you can only use one CPF.
Correct.
But this guy, but under HDB rules, as long as there is an occupier and a buyer, it's called family nucleus.
Yes, correct.
You can buy.
They need to form a proper family nucleus.
Okay. But this person in name has no property.
Yes.
Therefore, can buy a private property, okay, without paying ABSD.
Because there's no ownership under his name.
Correct.
Her name.
Yeah, but only can use her his or her CPF,
Correct.
right? Oh yeah, see learn something today
I see
You all
a
want
trend.
to you all want to know what are little tricks around Hey, learn something today, can give him some light now. Don't let's have a monologue
Okay,
here.
we have 400 plus on YouTube, but we only have 163 likes. Please do like Mr. Lu's channel. Yeah.
Why so niao one every time YouTube? I don't know why.
Oh yeah, so niao one. You can generous a bit or not?
You get my
Give you shall receive, right? Give you shall receive,
Amen.
or like you shall receive. All right. Okay,
Okay.
thanks for all the likes. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I observe from the trend, and that's why I enjoy doing sales. It's only when you're doing sales you know what's happening on the ground. All right. So far no ruling.
上有政策，下有对策。
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So far, okay. Because back then, back then HDB you can do decoupling. In the past, way before 1st April, I remember this date, 1st April, April Fool Day, 2016. Way before, both are co-applicant. They can do a part share. Way before 1st April. After 1st April, HDB introduced a measure. You cannot do this way. There's no way that you can do decoupling when both are co-applicants or co-owner of the HDB. All right. So these days, I see another different trend. All right, in future, I don't.
Why someone say that HDB cannot decouple anymore?
Cannot be decoupled. Back then in before 1st April 2016. After 1st April 2016, HDB has passed a regulation. They will not allow both applicants to do the decoupling. Yeah, correct. After 1st
So that's
April,
a pass. I
pass.
thought now.
That was a pass.
Okay.
That was a pass.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Alright.
that's historical. Oh, okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Now, there's also buyers who bought condo, buyers who bought EC, new launch, for example, or probably they bought resale. They go into ownership 99:1. I think a lot of people heard about this, right? 99:1. A lot of people Singaporeans want to own 2 property in their lifetime. Nothing wrong. This is a good aspiration. We should always aspire to work harder, you know. Life is just a process. Yeah, money is just a figure. Important thing is your loved one and health. Really, loved one and health. Okay, I just enjoy what you are enjoying doing. That's all. Now and give back to society. All right. Now, so there are a lot of couples who do 99:1. All right. Typically, people who do 99:1 in condo or in EC or whatever.
So what's 99:1 again?
Okay, it's an ownership. It's a kind of ownership. There are 2 types of ownership for HDB, condo, or private property, even landed. It's called either a joint tenancy, if not a tenancy in common.
Okay.
Now, joint tenancy is 50-50 by default.
Sure.
Whether you buy a HDB, you buy a condo by default, or private or landed.
Sure.
There are cases where they do 99:1 because the last 3 years, 4 years, a lot of agents are sharing about 99:1. And what happened is that if a person whose ownership is 1%,
Sure.
ideally they try not to use too much CPF. Now, okay, a bit technical here. I'm not trying to confuse you all.
Sure.
Just sharing what I have seen on the ground. Because lately I met a neighbor, and a neighbor done 99:1 back then.
Okay.
I don't know how he did it. So recently I have a review with him. Back then I don't think he has the right advice. He did 99:1.
Yeah.
He has 1% share. The wife has 99% share, and yet he has 200,000+. He utilized 200,000+ of CPF in the property itself. So what do I mean here? Imagine if you buy a $1 million worth of private property, $1 million worth. Your share is 1%.
$1,000.
So
No, $10,000.
Your share is 10,000, but you're using 200,000+ with accrued interest 300,000. It don't make sense. Meaning that you have to return your CPF before you can do decoupling.
But you can't do decoupling already.
Can do decoupling, you have to return the CPF first.
Oh, is it?
Correct. Because your proportion method, your worth in the house, the share value is worth $10,000, but you have used and utilized probably 300,000 of the CPF with accrued interest over the last 5 years, 7 years.
So, but in theory, if you sell the house,
so if you sell the house, there's no problem.
No, there is a problem. If you get divorced,
oh yeah,
then complexity comes in, right? Whoever owns 99% can say that I own 99%. I don't care how much you have paid for your apartment. I don't know. I'm just thinking about.
Okay. Speaking about divorce, something similar to divorce, but unfortunately, it happened to one of my young buyers, a young couple. The husband was 31, the wife was 32. So just few days before Chinese New Year, the wife actually texted me. They're very young. no kid. So they're my EC buyer. So I missed a call and eventually she texted me. So when I received the text, my heart just sank. Because when I met them, that was in 2017, 2018. They're still very young. So the husband passed away in an accident.
Oh no.
So of course, the wife want to meet me with a family member, the father and the auntie, to discuss about the post funeral arrangement, what to do to the car, the assets like car, property as well. So typically these are the lawyer job, but because I always feel that all my 小弟小妹, right, I always take care of all my 小弟小妹. I feel sad, so I feel that I feel a point to meet her as well. I don't know what words can I console her at that point in time because whatever words are all redundant. 人走了就走了. So that's why I just now mentioned life is just a process. Just enjoy what you're doing, alright? Enjoy who you meet. So basically, upon the discussion back then at the unit, I did ask a few things. Is it joint tenancy or tenancy in common? That was just before the Chinese New Year. So I realized that it's not a joint tenancy, it's a tenancy in common. The husband was 1% who passed on. The wife is 99%.
Okay.
So this is a bit tricky here.
Why?
Right? Because if let's say by default they go for joint tenancy, the wife will automatically inherit
the husband.
The other half share. But because it's tenancy in common, it's important that you have a will. Whether this 1% eventually will goes to who? Goes to the wife or goes to the father, mother, or goes to anybody. Alright. So that's happened when tenancy in common. Alright. Of course, this is some of the issue. Of course, the lady side requests me to the father requests me to explain to the husband parents in case of misunderstanding why is there a 99.1 and such a thing happened. I'm okay. Because what happened is that back then, this was what I actually so-called, back then a lot of people are proposing this idea. And it was an idea why in the event when the condo or the EC met the SSD 3 year, seller stamp duty 3 year, or upon MOP, they can do a decoupling as well. So if you're doing tenancy in common, my advice is that always prepare to draft out a will to make things clearer.
So in this case, I assume that he didn't have a will.
There's no will.
Okay. So what happened?
Because in joint tenancy, I make it a point. I went to SLA, and I have a talk with the SLA officer to find out what will be the procedure like. Because I know that when it's 50-50 joint tenancy, the whole process is easier. You just pay an application fee of $60 plus to $70. Send in the form. The other half, if let's say it's joint tenancy, the other half will just automatically inherit half share.
I see.
Yeah.
So in this case,
this case will go through a lawyer, and meaning that you have to incur more lawyer fee as well, or legal fee.
I see.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Maybe let's just switch. Let's switch. This is quite unique to certain situation. One thing I wonder. A lot of people has this misconception: property will never lose money. Okay. This afternoon I just met a very rich friend, a very well-to-do friend. Bought back in 2007 a condo in Orchard Road area. Okay, he bought it for $3.8 million. It's quite a big apartment. $3.8 million. Okay, and he just sold it. Okay, after 2007 until now, I just sold it for $3.7 million. He lost $100,000 after a 14-year wait. Is it? Yeah, for 15-year wait, you know. So now, of course, recently it's a bull run. If not, he lagi turn call. So can I ask you, if in your walk of life, is it true that property will never lose money?
The people will lose money.
Yeah.
Back in late 1997, my parents owned a 3-room flat. I was born in a very poor family. Just for some background about myself. I'm not born in a rich family. I'm an only child, so I was born in a very poor family. My parents are lowly educated, low income as well. Back then, my parents bought a 3-room flat, and then when the neighbor next door, who's a 3-room corner, they want to move out, my mom actually want to buy it, and then we convert into a jumbo. I think these days the top of the town is also the jumbo. So eventually, when we tried to sell the jumbo, right, after the Asia financial crisis, because it happened at a time where my father is a low-skilled laborer. So he lost his job, and then we couldn't afford the money installment.
I see.
At first, we tried to talk because Jumbo good thing is that the other half unit can rent out,
Sure.
so can dongqu. But there was a 911. Wow, 911 stock market crash. Eventually, with 911, the SARS came. So that was a terrible period. The rental, right, initially was around 1,000, 3,004. It dropped until $600 to $700. So it really happened in Singapore history. Now, I don't want to give you the idea that buying property that you can make money all the way. So first of all, do your own homework first, your financial, okay? Please do your own homework first, your financial calculation.
You see whether you tahan
Your
or not.
safety net, and as what Mr. Lu said, so long your CPF, you have the safety net, you know that your stress test, given the installment that's ahead, whether it's 3,000, 4,000, but your stress test can last you for years. Pass more. If it lasts you only for 2 to 3 months, then probably I'll feel that you have to be prudent, all right? But it can last you for years. Because worst day, you still can rent out the house, all right? Now, so this is my own personal experience when I'm a teenager. So the time is not easy. Now, are there people who lose money? Yes, there are people who lose money. Back then, there were people having negative sale. They used to buy HDB at 500-600K during the 90s. Eventually, 600K dropped to 300 plus 400K.
Wow.
It happened after the Asia financial crisis. A lot of people get burned. This is low quantum. The higher quantum shop house landed property, they are burned as well. So right now, but of course that was the pre-measure era. Now I don't have a lot of measure. Now, just now Mr. Lu is mentioning that his friend, very rich friend, who bought something in Orchard. Orchard. Now, Orchard is CCR. It's a prime district.
What's CCR?
CCR is a central core region.
Okay.
Where all the CBD are. Orchard District 9, 10, 11, alright? Now, these are the area where most of the heartlander are working there. But we are not staying there. Most of the heartlander are staying in OCR, we call it the outskirt, or the outside core region, as well as the RCR, the city fringe. Alright? So typically, if you want to go for something that has growth, alright, something that has mass market support, I repeat that, mass market support, you need to go to OCR and RCR. Because going to the Orchard area, who are the people who go there? The foreigner. What if the foreigner don't come? Because the ABSD is 30% or 35%. What if they are not coming? Who are you going to sell to? And it's 3 to 4 million. How many average Singaporean, husband and wife earning 15K to 20K can buy 3 million or 4 million property? If you can buy 3 to 4 million property, probably the first thing that you want to buy is not a condo in Orchard. You want to buy a landed.
Yeah.
It may not be in Orchard area.
Sure.
Correct?
Sure.
You agree that? You agree that? Agree all just like that, because so that I can understand what.
Yeah.
Now, so likewise, just like I mentioned, I have to be blunt a bit. Yeah, blunt a bit. Okay, I'm sorry if whatever I mentioned just now, or later on, reflect about what you did in the past, but just sharing. Because okay, this is what I've seen and I've gone through. Over the past 10 years, I've seen people who buy overseas property. It can be in Bangkok, it can be in Manila, it can be in probably Cambodia, it can be in Malaysia. I don't know speak which place, alright? Now, as a foreigner, you buy new launch, correct? If you go Thailand, where you buy? I don't think you'll buy outskirt, right?
Yeah, you buy right in the smack of the
You'll
city.
buy the CCR, called Bangkok,
Sure.
correct? So what happened now is that when you buy the CCR as a foreigner, alright, as a new launch, when you want to sell, can you sell to the local? I don't think the local
Can afford.
can afford to buy from you.
Sure.
Who can you sell to?
Foreigner.
Foreigner. But foreigner love to buy what? New launch.
Oh, okay.
So you have to think of an exit plan. Okay. If having said that, people who buy Orchard area or CCR area, is a symbolic status. To me, I think that is no hard feeling. I feel that it's just a way to share with other friends and relatives that I bought something in Orchard. This is how I feel. For me, I'm staying in Sengkang and I happily stay in Sengkang.
Jurong.
Alright, at a place called The Vales, and I'm happily perfectly happy where I am. All right. Yeah. So this is my personal opinion. No. Of course, if you can buy something in Orchard, River Valley, it's good. Congratulations. It shows something about you. You have worked hard. You deserve it. The question is that you have to think about exit plan. Correct. 3 to 4 million, probably there won't be any average Singaporean husband and wife who are earning probably 16K to 20K can afford to buy from you. Now, where are the places that you should look out for? No doubt there's no question on that. I just probably cover a bit since I'm here tonight.
Property tips right now.
Now,
where's a good buy?
Always buy in a place that's not overly matured. Buy in a place that is a growing estate, growing town. Now, Example, back then 10 years ago it was Punggol, Sengkang, because the population there are generally younger people. Income is higher. The Choa Chu Kang newer estate, Bukit Batok newer estate, is a younger generation. The couple are earning more these days, so they can support the growth of the condo there, as well as the resale condo and EC.
Sure.
Now, the next one upcoming, talking about the city fringe, RCR. Something that I'm looking at will be Bidadari. The future 4-room flat will be. This is my own personal opinion.
Where is Bidadari?
Bidadari is at Potong Pasir, the area there.
Oh, okay.
So there's around 7,300 HDB, 4-room and 5-room.
Okay.
Alright. I'm not surprised the 4-room flat eventually upon MOP will reach 1 million. I'm not surprised, 900 to 1 million. Because Boon Keng area, St. George area is around 950K for a 4-room flat.
HDB.
Mother. When it reach 5 years time. Alright. So I'm not surprised it'll reach 1 million for the 4-room flat. Given the current situation.
Wow.
The 5-room flat, I'm not overly positive. I'm just based on the movement.
Current trend.
5 years later, if you ask me if everything remains the same, economy still remains stable, inflation still going jalat and jalat because mass printing of USD, I'm not surprised the HDB can go up 1.2 to 1.3. Now when go up to 1 million to 1.2, 1.3, now Singaporeans, they love to change things. They change phone every year. They really change. And these are not like our older generation, right? We value. I'm using iPhone 7 Plus till now, honestly.
Really? Dragon Tan.
Screen is cracked, but I changed 4 times already, so it's still cracked. Yeah, so I just go as per normal. Now, because we just value what is been with me. More sentiment.
You haven't seen his car. Okay, never mind. Don't talk about that. Okay. Yes.
Now, so once Singaporean, the younger Singaporean, they have this mindset. They love to change things. So upon the 5th year, actually not really upon the 5th year, even upon the 3rd year, 4th year, a lot of them start to 胡思乱想. They want to upgrade. It's very common in Singaporean, the younger generation. So when they make money from their HDB, they want to upgrade to the condo around the area. So if you ask me about city fringe, I feel that Bidadari is a place for good growth. It's just a reflection of the previous Bishan. Now Bishan, of course, is getting older. Of course, there's a lot of good school in Bishan. But in Bidadari area, Ule area, there's also a lot of good school like Maris Stella, St. Andrews, Sila Girls. Then there's an American school there as well. Alright. So this is my own personal view. Yeah.
Is it good? Is it good as a strategy right now after your MOP to buy a second property or to sell your apartment to move to condo or things like that? You know, quite a few people asking this question.
Oh, okay. Now typically, depend on the needs. If you find that your family member is getting more and more or growing more and more, you need a bigger space, a 4-bedroom condo or 5-bedroom condo. Probably, and right now you're staying in a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom condo or EC, right? Then probably you really decide carefully, just go for it because you need the space. Alright, you need the space. Alright, but having said that, how I observe is that because more xiong lah, you go for 4 on 5-bedroom condo in city fringe, it's going to be more than 2 million. More
xiong. But HDB, it depends. Yeah, you're right.
HDB, it's not easy to find HDB 4-bedroom unless it's EM or probably EA, bigger space.
Sure.
Pasir Ris has a lot. Okay? Sure. Pasir Ris a lot of HDB are Tua Lengkong one. It's always famous for that. All different architecture, structure and design. With balconies some more. For Pasir Ris. Now, you can go for Jumbo. Jumbo Woodlands has a lot. Bedok Reservoir Block 629, there's one block all entirely on Jumbo as well. So depend on your needs.
Yes.
So of course, if you want to go for a 4-bedroom or 5-bedroom condo, you need 2 persons name. Easier. not so 喘 okay. Of course, if you yearn to own your second property, and then if let's say your family member is just nice enough, only two of you, probably you can do some decoupling, go for a second property straight, and plan for. It's part of retirement plan as well. To me, it's just like I'm not selling insurance, but I feel that just like you're buying a second property that's $1 million, it's just like an endowment plan of 1 million. 30 years matured. 30 years later, it's fully paid by a tenant, where it matured your endowment plan. You cash out, you have a $1 million. Given that the property don't appreciate 30 years later, which is unlikely.
Okay, right. Good. Okay. There's a question right now that I saw, which I think is quite important for everybody to know. Should we sell first, then we buy, or buy first, then we sell?
Okay. Given that this is what I noticed. It's always good to do both sides concurrently. This is the thing that I advise my friends as well as my neighbors who I'm helping them to market their house currently. It'll be good that they also find something. They know where to buy in the first place. They know where to buy, and they find something as well. So what happened is that at the same time we can secure an offer from a buyer who is able to wait for them to secure their purchase. Because currently there is a limited supply in the market, a limited of choices. There's still people selling, just that the supply is getting lesser. Alright, so you're staying in the house, lucky or not, you're staying in the house for the next 3 to 5 years.
Sorry, I'm taking photo of the question. My staff today is not free, so I got to take photo of the question. Yes.
Lucky or not, you're going to stay in the house for the next 3 to 5 years.
Sure.
I'm not the one who stay. So of course, you're entitled to choose a house of your next choice, the purchase of your next choice, happily, not by force, not because you sold your house, you just need to buy this. I think that it don't make sense as well.
I see. Okay. So you buy condition that you can find another one.
Correct. Right? Ideally, if let's say you know what you want to buy,
yeah,
you find something you want to offer,
yeah,
you should secure a buyer as well.
I see. So in some sense, you buy and sell together.
I feel that both have to do concurrently.
Can they wait?
We have to find a buyer who match our criteria, as well as we have to negotiate with the seller, our seller, on the timeline as well. I think that's very important.
I see. Do we secure a HDB loan, housing loan first, or execute the S&P first?
Okay. You mean for HDB itself? Okay, what you can do is
maybe HDB or condo.
Condo. Second loan first, or execute S&P first.
Housing loan first, or?
Okay, if secure. I would suggest that you do a IPA first, in principle approval, because it depends on work out with your banker. We work with your banker. How much you can probably secure your loan, but it depends whether it's your first mortgage loan or your second mortgage loan, because your second mortgage loan will go down much lower. Alright, first loan is 75%, second loan is up to 45%. But I will say that you do an IPA first with your banker. That's very important. Okay,
cool. Now I noticed that time is running a little bit late. I'll ask a few quick questions. If you have a question, you can send now, but I'll try to capture some of them. Okay. If Jean asked this question, if interest rate goes up and you sell a property at a later stage, are you still making money considering that in consideration of interest you are paying to the bank?
Am I still making money? It depends on your sales price as well.
Yeah.
If you're selling much higher, I believe that it's enough to offset whatever bank interest. Correct.
Okay. What's your advice to HDB new couple as owner and occupier if they plan to get a second property?
Once you go in that direction, work hard. Remind each other that both of you has a direction to move forward.
Sure.
Don't overspend, like what Mr. Lu always tell me. Don't overspend. Not every day is Sunday. Always plan for contingency. Alright, but because you have a dream to fulfill, that's your second property. Alright, I believe that so long you have a dream to fulfill, you have a direction, you know how to save. Alright, for your down payment for your next property. Good luck.
Let's compare the HDB. Compare HDB with condo. Which property type is better for longer term?
Longer term.
Basically HDB or condo basically.
Basically HDB or condo
this one.
Okay. To date, right, I still feel that staying HDB is the best. And my father is always full of praises for HDB. There's subsidies going on. There's utility bill subsidies going on. Why not? Now, So it depends on your mindset. So long for me, I'm a very simple man. So long I have a roof over my head, I just need a bed. It can be queen or king size will do. Even though the house has 10 bedroom or 4, I can only sleep in 1 bedroom a night. So what even you give me a good class bungalow, okay, I don't need so many bedroom. I just only need 1 bed. So I'm a very practical man. So long every day, I just enjoy what I'm doing, and everything that I venture into show me good result. I think that this is satisfaction in my life. Right, just like what Mr. Lu is doing. You just enjoy the process.
Yep. Okay. For investment for condo, which area is better for it?
Which location? Okay, few things. Just I'm talking about, you have to buy in a place that is growing. That's number 1 criteria. Number 2, MRT of course.
Damn good advice, huh? Buy growing areas, not necessarily buy mature area.
Correct.
Okay.
If you're buying places like
sorry, you're talking about for growth potential, right?
Growth potential.
Yeah, okay.
For convenient purposes, maybe you can buy in older estate near to your parents, like Bedok
Sure.
lah. I'm a Bedok boy. Yeah. But Chong me that one. Alright. In Bedok North. It's just that generally the population there are the older uncle auntie who are in the 60s, 70s. So I don't think they will upgrade to buy your condo if let's say you happen to buy a condo there. So you find that the growth of condo will still be there, even Ang Mo Kio also, but it will be a slower pace. Now, number 2 is that you buy a place where, of course, government has a lot of plan. We have downtown line, circle line, so many lines already, until I get confused. All right, MRT is one thing. You help to improve. All right. Number 3 thing, you buy a place. Okay, so far I haven't seen this mega mall. All right, we have 2 mega malls in Singapore. One is called the Next. One is called the Vivo. Now, the Next is located at a place at this Lorong Lew Lian, Serangoon area. Now, before that, just to let you all know, before this Next is up, back then, right, Serangoon area there is, sorry I have to say this, I will be blunt here. In the past used to be Niaopu Sentan, where the birds don't even lay eggs there. The prices of the HDB resale are quite depressed compared to Bedok and Tampines 20 years ago. I love to see trend. I love to observe trend. And what happened when this Next mega mall is up? All right, prices go up, and these days it's not hard and uncommon to find a 5-room flat and 4-room flat in around Next area to be selling higher than Bedok and Tampines. You need to have this kind of growth. Mega mall, Vivo also. Before Vivo is up, boring place, what? Telok Blangah area, Bukit Bromeh, I mean the prices there are quite depressed. After things are going up, you need development. Now number 4, you need to have, okay, this is very uncommon. It's very uncommon. Only a few places. You need to have places where there's a business park. Example. Now, business park, okay, government never say anything, but this is what I observe about business park. Now, we have a Changi Business Park. Before 2009, the whole expo there is empty land, all right? It's a forest. Forest is cleared. Now, we have a Changi Business Park. Every time when there's a business park, next beside it, we have a university right now it's called the SUTD, correct? Now, so this is business park. And what happens when the business park goes up? The property prices will go up. One good example is Double Bay. Because Double Bay was launched in 2009. From 2009 to 2014, that 5 years, when the Changi materialized, prices went up by 60% on average. Double Bay, business park. Now, business park will have MRT, business park will have hotel, like the Parkview Hotel in Changi Business Park, shopping mall as well, university. One North also, beside what? Beside which uni in US? Does it has an MRT? Yes, One North MRT. Hotel? Yes, Parkview Hotel. Is there any auditorium? We have the Expo in Changi Business Park with the auditorium, Star Vista. So another business park coming out will be in Punggol. Okay, of course, some people feel that Punggol is too far away. Punggol is another business park called the Punggol Digital District. Which unit is beside it? SIT. All right. Will it have a MRT going there? Yes, the new MRT called the Punggol Coast MRT. All right. Any shopping mall in future? I believe so. Hotel? I believe so. Auditorium? I believe so. This is what I observe. Another business park that's coming out, which is announced by our DPM back then, Heng Swee Kiat, all right, that was 5 years ago, Jurong Innovation District. Does it has an MRT going on? Yes, the Jurong Regional Line going on. I think that's the in thing. Which university? Jalan Bahar, MTU. Who's the developer? JTC. And this development go all the way to Tengah, 4 times the size of One North. So if you ask me which location where is better or which condo, probably you can you can, based on my pointers that I provide you, and you start to do a study. Which your condo properly fit all the criteria: growing estate, business park, MRT, mega mall. But so far there's no mega mall. But probably these some, and of course, look out for area where there's a potential future launch around the area, because the future launch only launch higher, and then you
bring the surrounding up also. Hey, if you missed the whole section, the last 4 minutes that Dragon Tan just shared is actually really, really very important for you to teach you basically how to pick property. If you want like that, okay? Yeah, but if you want to like comfort, stay near your parents, like you don't want to wait for 3-4 years for one shopping mall to come out and things like that, then you might want to stay in developed area or things like that. But what he just shared is damn kung fu how to pick property. So let me ask a few more quick questions, and you might go a little bit faster, okay? Yes. URA data recently released show that property volume transacted and price have slowed down. Is this a sign of demand slowly going down? So therefore, maybe prices won't go up as much.
Okay. URA data definitely is accurate. That's for sure. But we have to remember that back then in January and February, we are going into a Chinese New Year. Typically during Chinese New Year period, right, the transaction will go slower. I think important thing is that we have to take a look at the second and third quarter. If the second and third quarter the prices are still escalating, likelihood, I as a government, I'm not a government, but I feel that if let's say I'm a government, I want to introduce measure, definitely, for the betterment of all Singaporeans. Now, of course, just like I mentioned, the number of mega supply launches in the market is getting lesser and lesser. It's depleting. So there's nothing more to buy. What is left over probably is on a lower floor facing substation rubbish chute. Probably you also wouldn't want to buy. I don't think you also want to force yourself to buy something that you don't want to stay in a place that you don't like as well. So that's probably explained. And of course, a lot of factors that I mentioned just now, the rental supply, this and that. It take time for the whole thing to stabilize. Definitely will stabilize. All right. I think what government want to see is that the market goes stable.
Okay, cool. Is it true that HDB after 40 years will start to lose value?
Lose value lah. My parents stay in a HDB that is more than 40 years. 1978. So in Tampines area itself. So I observed over the last 2 years, due to the COVID, everything went up. The prices actually went up from 340,000, 330,000 to today is around 400,000. So
how old is the apartment again?
78. So I will reckon that it's around 42, 44 years old. 44 years old. So it's definitely less than 60 years. Now, everything go up. But the proportion of a newer, probably I compare with a newer BTO or a BTO that is just attained MOP, or 5 years old HDB versus a 44 years old HDB. Definitely the rate of increment, right, or the appreciation for the newer flat will go higher than the older one. Basically, everybody loves new thing. Everybody loves to change to new iPhone, new stuff, drive new car. Just a joke here. Old man love youngest. Old auntie love 小鲜肉. Okay, it's really like everybody love to buy brand new novelty. Watches. Everybody loves to go new as well. So this is human, and you don't mind to pay a premium. This human, anything. So this is how the market works. It's not about. Sometimes my buyers come to me saying that, wow, the condo, 30-year-old condo is very cheap, so cheap. But because it's older, and that's why you find the transaction for the older resale condo, is probably the volume is so thin, lukewarm, compared to newer condo. Newer condo, the PSF probably is 50 to 60% higher, 1,005 PSF versus an $800 PSF, but the volume is tens of transactions every month. So that's my sharing.
There is a question, I'm trying to find it now. I think the question is something like, is it still a good investment strategy? Where is it? Okay. Yes. Yeah. So a lot of people believe in this investment strategy. You basically buy new condo, okay, and sell it after 3 years, okay, make a profit and do again and again and again and again.
Okay. Over the last 3 to 4 years, I can see some buyers, they prey on the idea that I buy a new launch,
Mhm.
I sell my HDB,
Mm.
I rent for 3 years. Because typically it's not it's very common for developer to increase the price from day one all the way until TOP.
Mm.
But question is that the rental is the cost of the rental is a consideration as well.
Mm.
You really have to consider, and the rental these days, right? Is easily $3,000+. So you factor that in. You're going to wait for the project to TOP, and then before you sell, what is your profit margin? And you have to factor in your buyer's stamp duty as well. I have to be fair here. But of course, it's your own choice.
Does this strategy make money?
I feel that when you buy property, buy for your genuine needs. I think that there are many other ways to grow your wealth. CPF 1M65, 4M65, confirm. I'm truly a supporter of Mr. Lu. In fact, for my housing installment, I kept all my CPF. My wife as well. I pay using cash. It's a bit painful, but because I believe the idea, I have to walk by example because I shared with hundreds of thousands of people, agent as well. It's a way to grow wealth. For property, just buy for genuine needs. Of course, humans are greedy and they are driven by fear. The market is always driven by greed and fear. But when you buy a property, just buy for your own genuine needs because you want to improve the life of your loved one. That's the important thing. You want your kids to enjoy your facility. You want your parents to come over. This is the main reason for you to upgrade to condo, not because you want to flip here, flip there. Then end up everybody, the whole family, whether the old folks or the children, end up renting here, renting there. But of course, there's no hard and fast rule. It's your own choice. Yeah. But importantly, you do everything is for your loved one.
Very good. Okay. Do you think the en bloc fever will come back?
En bloc fever, since the measure in 15 December, all right, government introduced higher ABSD on the developer. Meaning that the developer, if they cannot sell the whole projects, they'll be subject to 35% ABSD. So it becomes the developer are very selective right now. They only en bloc smaller project. Recently, I think there's one en bloc, Golden Mall. I think Golden Mall was en bloc by Far East and Perennial.
Were they successful?
I think it was successful.
Wow.
Less than 1 billion. So typically, it was 700 million. Now, typically, en bloc will be below anything 200 million, 100 million, 300 million. Those small size property developer, they'll be more interested. All right. Of course, en bloc fever is good because when there's an en bloc fever for 1 to 2 years continuously, it means that a lot of liquidity is injected into the market. All right. When you see en bloc fever going on for continuously for 1 to 2 years, the liquidity is easily 18 to 20 billion. The recent one was back in 2017 to 2018, around 18 to 20 billion. Before that was I think 2005, 2006, there was one cycle of liquidity injected into the market en bloc, 18 to 20 billion. Get ready, the price will just jump. When there's an en bloc fever, the price of the private property will just jump ahead. It's an indication.
I see.
So I don't foresee we're going to have an en bloc fever in the short term. Long term, yes, maybe they'll come. Mid to long term, maybe yes. Correct.
Yeah. Well, I have many specific questions. I'm just flipping about specific areas. Okay. I'm going to go through. I will go through very quickly because everybody asks, what about my area, what is going to happen, that kind of thing. I'll just ask a few of them and kind of generalize it, okay? So the first question is East Coast considered mature, and what do you think of the growth potential?
East Coast, East Coast, this morning I was at East Coast, Telok Kurau, doing a presentation with one of a schoolmate.
Sure.
My 师姐, suddenly she texts me, she want me to help her to market her place.
Sure.
A lot of people love East Coast. I love East Coast personally. A lot of people who buy East Coast because Parkway is one reason. Good school like
food is good.
Ngee Ann Primary School with Ngee Ann. We have Ngee Ann. We have this town as well. So reason why Singapore parents love to buy. So there's always a demand. When there's a good school, yes, I miss out one thing apart from the business part. Good school matters as well. So there will always be a demand around the area where the good school are. So whether is there a strong growth or not, but I will not say the growth will be very tremendous. But if there's a future launch, like back then there was a seaside residences, launching at 2,000 plus, eventually selling at 2,000 plus PSF, it will help to bring up the PSF or the prices of the older condo as well. You need that. The place cannot be so overly matured that there's no room for other development. Overly matured.
Okay. All right. Cool. Is it still good to buy for rental investment?
Okay. Typically, it's not difficult to find yield around 3% in the market. I think that if you have to spare cash and yet you don't know what to do with it and you don't want to put in the bank because of inflation going on, you can consider a second property if you're doing decoupling. Because for me and my wife, yes, this is what we plan to do from May onward. Ultimately,
wait, can you or can you not do decoupling? I'm very confused.
Okay, I'll be doing decoupling first in May.
Okay.
With my wife.
Sure.
So
basically, she become the occupier, and you become the owner, or the other way around.
For me, it's an EC or it's a private property or a condo.
Sure.
So typically, her name will exit from property.
Okay.
And then she'll go and buy her next property as well.
I see.
So that is the plan that we had since day one, 2015. When I visualized that when I bought my EC, that's what I'm going to do. So I always stay clear to my plan because and just to highlight to you, I didn't want to be a property agent when I'm 17 years old. Right now I'm 42, 25 years has passed, and I'm still practicing. Stay focused. I'm always stay focused.
You all may not know, Mr. Lu was a real estate agent as well. Okay, I was from ERA in 1995 to 1994 to 1996. Okay, so I was practicing for 3 years. Okay, that was then I was a student, part-time agent. Okay, so don't say Mr. Lu don't know shit about property. Okay, yeah, okay, but anyway, those were the days. Okay, now I have to ask specific question. Two people ask specifically about their place. I think I need to answer some questions. Everybody want to know about their own area. I'm sorry, I have to handpick a few. Okay, number one, Normanton Park. A lot of people ask. What do you mean Normanton Park?
Normanton Park, I think that it's selling very well. Probably less than 200. Recently, it's selling very well.
200 what?
I think the balance unit are probably less than 200 units.
I mean, there's still empty units.
I don't think we have a lot left.
Okay.
So, yeah, moving very fast.
Okay.
Of course, that is in the south. What's there to ask about Normanton Park?
Whether good or not? What do you think of the area?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not about good or not good. Of course, typically most of the agent, if I'm not wrong, they are pitching on the Greater Southern Waterfront, the Science Park, Business Park.
Sure.
The rental yield is being guaranteed. I think that I think it's still quite a safe investment over here.
Okay.
Now for probably if you want me to cover about the Greater Southern Waterfront. Now this is a big plot of land. We have to be very clear first. The whole development will take 1 generation. It's not going to be overnight. So probably you have to be patient here. All right. To build a town, you need 20 years. Like Pongo, like Jurong, probably 20 plus years because Jurong is very big. We have east and west. We have Boon Lay. All right. So to build a town, for it to be fully grown, you need 20 years. It can be 30 years as well. So the Greater Southern Waterfront is so many times the size of Marina Bay. So and then right now we have not seen anything started yet. It's just that of course launches there. So of course if you enjoy staying in around the area because you're growing up there, by all means yes. Buying a property in Singapore, because I don't sell property overseas. No hard feeling if you buy it. I'm sorry, I mean I just be blunt here. I have to be very blunt. I cannot just tell you all the beautiful thing. I think buying property in Singapore is much better than you buy property overseas.
Of course.
It's very safe.
Of course.
Whatever location that you buy.
Sure.
Except Lim Chu Kang so far there's no launches there. There is Nirvana, Kolabaram. 1 PS.
Okay.
20k.
Okay.
I was told 20k 1 PS.
Okay, you will need it in a special time. Yes.
So you're very safe.
Okay.
Right? Government has planned.
Okay, we gotta go very quickly. This is a general question. Does the developer contractor matters when we choose new launches? Is there such thing as branded developer and non-branded developer?
Of course, when it comes to developer, some of the top developer people get to know CDL, Far East, MCL.
Do they command a premium?
I think it really does matter who the developer are because each developer has their own standard.
Okay.
In terms of quality, so they'll be very stringent on the main con itself. Main con. It can be a main con for different project, the same main con for different project, but end up the quality can be different. So it depends on the developer, how stringent they are, how near the developer are in
More the
delivering.
developer or the contractor?
Developer plus the main con. I think these two it matters, but
I
important
see.
thing is the developer. The developer, so far some of the developer that has quite a good standard. I'm not selling
Of course,
anything.
CDL.
MCL is one of them.
Okay,
MCL. I
okay.
think that the quality of standard is, but of course it doesn't apply to all the core units because nothing is perfect. Sometimes there will be defects. It's very normal. My house has defect as well, but defects check really depend on individual. Because I just have, if let's say I'm going to have an overhaul reno for the whole unit, everything look brand new. So it depends on individual. Are you a person who is okay or you're a person who cannot see things open?
Okay, cool. Okay. I'll ask a few. Okay, let me do a commercial for Dragon Tan. He didn't ask for it, but I mean, his name is Dragon Tan. Just Google his name. His name will be there. Contact number, you can look for him. He's Singapore, one of the best real estate agent I know. Okay, yeah. And what's your mobile number?
Oh, my mobile number 82824442.
82824442. Okay, 82824442. Okay, if you miss that, just Google. Okay, just Google for his name, Dragon Tan. If you need service, go look for him. Okay, he didn't ask for this, and he didn't pay me for a commercial. Don't get me wrong.
I'm very happy to support Mr. Lu's session today.
Yeah.
I think that he's trying to find a lot of info to fit everyone here.
Okay, Siu Qing did this. I'm gonna pin it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pin. Yeah, I cannot pin. Okay.
It doesn't matter lah.
Okay.
Yeah,
but 82824442. Okay, just for his number. But however, let's go on with his question. Okay, what's what? Okay, a lot of people ask very specific area, and making it very difficult for me to answer. And if we miss your question, just WhatsApp him. Okay, yeah, WhatsApp him, and you'll be happy to answer. Changi area. Okay, all the condo there are very cheap, so can buy, cannot buy.
Are you referring to Changi Prison vicinity? Okay, Changi area, there's this place where the Changi North are. I think Hong Yong own a lot of area there. I think from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. The latest is Jovel. Before that, there's I think Flora Road there, put it this way. Because my great-grandfather used to own a plot of land there.
Wow.
It's a big plot of land.
Any left over for you?
So back in there's a old temple there. It's a Hainanese temple called the Yankee Village. Okay, if you happen to be Elderwise, Balota Park, Carissa Park, that's around the area. So what happened is that back then, right, he sold that few parcel of land. I think it was sub-sale between a few parties. Eventually, it was so-called. Correct me if I'm wrong. The data, I think probably my uncle will have it. As what I heard from my uncle, it was eventually back in the late 70s to 80s when my great-grandfather passed on. So something happened, the family something happened, and then eventually it was sub-sale at $70 to $100 to the Hong Yong side.
I see.
PSF. That was 40 years back.
Sure. Now,
so, talking about the growth, most of the plot of land are freehold, and the freehold land are getting probably older and older. The newest launch is Jovel, that is 99 years. We have a Park Como there. I haven't been invited to Park Como to give a talk. That's a freehold launch. The number of units there are not really a lot. Going about the growth, you need to have a future launch. And the future launch has to launch higher. Then it help you to bring up the price. So you have to, just on the pointers that are given to you, of course there will be a new MRT coming over. Is there Mega Mall? Is there business park? I think that's not business park. That's more like a aviation park over there. Plus Changi Prison nearby. It's a place where it's very quieter, greenery. Probably more for own stay.
okay.
My personal opinion.
Okay.
Personal opinion, yeah.
Okay. Kallang, Upper Boon Keng area?
That is considered RCR, City Fringe. I used to go the hawker center at Upper Boon Keng for tulang. Yeah,
Yes.
which I enjoy.
I just ate yesterday night.
Oh yeah, these days no lah, high cholesterol, so I take care. But it's nice lah. Yeah.
I only eat once a month when I come back. Yeah.
Now, to me, right, you won't find any EC there. If you happen to be lucky enough to ballot a HDB there, a brand new BTO.
No slides.
You're very, very lucky. It's considered EC. 一定会赚钱的. All right, it's just a matter of time for the whole things to mature. Like what I shared, a durian or a papaya only tastes the sweetest when it's ripe. When it's unripe, 你打开来吃很难吃的. You just have to wait a time. Okay,
That's a 名言 for today. That's a famous phrase. A durian or papaya, a fruit is only good when it's ripe. You buy a property when it's not ripe, okay? Yeah, it will taste sour. Yeah, you gotta wait until it turn ripe, then you harvest it, right? Wow, damn solid. That's why I invite expert. You all agree not? Invite expert. Yeah, hey, I tell you what. You know, I only invite people who come to my channel. They are street fighters. They know the ground. They know the detail whatsoever. You know, not some theory kind of people whatsoever. That's why I say, really, you know, you want to make money in property. You know, you can. These are tricks you need to learn. Yes, kung fu, not tricks. Okay. So this is a question. I always get this question: 9 years or freehold, which one better?
Okay. If you are thinking to buy for rental, it doesn't matter whether side by side they are 99 or freehold. Now freehold typically they sell you at a premium. Now 99 probably they sell you much lower, probably the 15% lower, probably around this range. Now, but if you're renting out, the tenant will not. It doesn't matter to the tenant whether is it a freehold or 99. They want a 2-bedroom means they want a 2-bedroom. End up the rental price or the market rental price, it can be similar, just side by side, freehold and 99. But of course, you're buying for legacy planning for your children. You're thinking far. There are another group of Singaporeans who really think far. Legacy planning, okay? Then if let's say freehold is the one that you're going for it, then by all means, because 50 years later, you see a huge difference. 99 years left, 49 years. Your freehold is still freehold. And the chance of being on block is still there also. Because the developer need not pay any so-called differential premium to top up the lease. So this is a good part if you buy a freehold to keep for the next 50 years. But this is when you think that you have so much money in the bank, you don't know what to do, just go ahead. Just enjoy life lah. Don't make yourself so difficult lah, you know. Every month bother about installment. Life's so stress already in Singapore. Just enjoy the process. Alright? Just buy what is affordable and you're happy with. You have money, bring your parents go out for holiday. Bring them out for makan. Alright? Life doesn't hover around us lah.
And don't hover around property.
So there's one thing I want to share. I shared with quite a number of my close friends. In life so far, because I have a good mentor. And that mentor is my uncle. Because I model after him, we have no regret. Because to the parents, we provide the best for them. To my wife and to my kid, I provide the best for them wherever I can. I bring the bread home. So typically, if you ask me, do I have any regret in life? To date, I am very happy to tell you. Of course, I did mistake in the past, but that was when I was younger. But at the age of 42, I dare to announce here in the whole YouTube and Facebook, I have no regret because I did whatever best for my family member. Alright? Don't always go for property lah. Then you're so stressed for what?
Exactly. That's why I said that is what I have an issue with Singaporean is there's a fanaticism with property that you consume your life. That part I have an issue. So a lot of people say, wow, Mr. Lu, anti-property. In fact, just now someone asked this question, which I would like to answer. Someone said, "Hey, may I ask? I assume it's Mr. Luke. May I ask? You are not a property investor per se, but how do you get to know Dragon Tan then?" Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good. We already answered this question, okay? But I think it's a misconception to know that I'm anti-property. I'm not. I've said many times that people still think I'm anti-property. Okay. I think property has a place in all our investment, okay, that it forms part of our portfolio, and some people have more and some people have less, okay. There are many roads that lead to Rome. None of y'all, I bet you, has been to Rome as many times as I did, okay. I've been to Rome many times, and I kid you not, in Rome, okay, all the roads really lead to Central Rome, you know, yeah. And I tell you, it's the same for investment. Right? If you go with some financial, some wealth that you want to accumulate or whatsoever, you know, I've taught many people 1 or 2 or 3 paths. Of course, centric on CPF. But is that the only path? No, I never profess exclusivity. Okay, I said that is not the only path. Can you achieve it through property? Yes. Is it more risky than my path I suggest? Yes. Okay, I think my path is one of the safest. But if you're confident, if you're an expert like him, okay, this path go ahead, right? If you are very good in crypto, go ahead. If you are good in making bubble tea, making cakes or whatever, go ahead, right? Many roads leads to Rome. Pick the one that you're most best at and kung fu at. Not just what you think, but you are really good at. Okay, cool. All right, good. Okay. I'm mindful that the time is approaching 11. I'll answer a few more. I'll get Dragon Tan to answer a few more questions. Okay, but he's real good property real estate professional. You all can engage his service. Okay, if you are selling or buying selling an apartment. His number is I cannot remember. Just Google his name, Dragon Tan. Okay. Actually, do you use more Noel Tan or Dragon Tan?
The people in the market know me as a dragon.
Dragon.
But it's okay lah. Dragon or Noel, whichever you're comfortable.
Yeah. If you search Noel Tan, nothing will come out, right?
Dragon Tan, yes, a lot of
Okay, Dragon Tan, guarantee. Okay, maybe one day I should call myself some spirit or unicorn Lu or something like that. Okay, so jokes aside, I don't mean to make fun of your name. Sorry. Okay. There are people asked about Tanah Merah area.
Oh, okay. Talking about the new launch, I think there will be a new launch coming soon in Tanah Merah. So basically, this is in the eastern area of Singapore. If you are looking for something that is for ready rental, or Changi Business Park is there. Now, but whether is there any growth, back to what I say, are there any possibility of future launch to bring up the price? Probably something for you to think about it if you're buying for your own stay. But if you're buying for rental, I think that yes, there's still a demand for rental because the Changi Business Park, Changi North is also not far away. Correct.
This question, there's this question quite interesting because it exactly captures. There are some freehold launches in Bartley, very nearby Bidadari,
Yes.
but the sales transaction there very low and lukewarm.
Okay.
Why is it so?
Probably I know what exactly you're talking about.
Yeah.
Near to Maui Stella there.
Sure.
Freehold.
Yeah.
So typically you'll see more obvious market movement probably when Piccadilly is launched, as well as Lentor and Ang Mo Kio Central is launched this year. Why am I so sure? Remember when Pasir Ris 8 was launched last year? There was a craze. Alright, 1,000 plus buyer going for 400 units at Pasir Ris 8, not Pasir Ris 1, Pasir Ris 8. And what happened next moment? 200 plus units of Sengkang Grand was selling fast over the next few months. Eventually, right now, I think less than probably 10 plus unit, 20 units. Alright, you will have a spillover. Now, typically, after a good launch, there will be a spillover to all the new launches around Singapore. This is always a trend. And then, of course, we have to wait whether the market is able to readily accept the new launches prices at 2001, 2002 PSF for Ang Mo Kio as well as for Lentor. So it's something that we are observing as well. But given the low supply in the market, I think that the project will still move. It's about the percentage of the sales. Alright, Mr. Lu?
Very good. Okay. Commercial versus residential. Which one is good for investment, making money?
Okay, commercial depend on what you're looking at. It can be office. Office, the PSF is not going to be low because most of the offices are in the CBD area.
How much?
Oh, millions of dollars.
PSF?
Okay, 3,000-4,000 easily.
Really?
Correct. So that's for commercial itself. If you're talking about conservation shop house in Telok Ayer Street, now typically we don't see individual buyers coming to the market because shop house costs around 10 to 20 million.
Sure.
That range, 3-story. Level 1 normally is F&B. Level 2, 3 typically people use as offices. If not, they use as a fitness center, yoga center in the CBD. And normally we see funds coming in. These funds may come from family office. There's a lot of overseas high net worth individual who put in 100, 200 million in Singapore. So their funds manager or their so-called funds manager who in charge of their funds will actually so-called allocate the funds to in stocks, equity or to property. Now to the residential, they need to pay 30-35% ABSD, which is too much. So they will consider this family office to allocate funds for conservation shop house. Another commercial that you can look at is HDB shop house. HDB shop house, we have 2 levels. Level 2 is HDB, obviously Resi. Level 1 is shop house F&B, pop house. It can be a spectacle shop or level. Right? The yield is good, but of course the price is not cheap. It can be 2 to 3 million in a prime area for the HDB shop house. For Telok Ayer, it can be 10 plus million as well.
You're kidding.
Yes, correct. But typically that will belong more to family office
I see.
funds coming in. I
see.
don't think individual Singaporean are. Of course, there are a lot of rich Singaporean.
Yeah.
It's because it's 10 plus million. In China, there's this concept called the 四合院. Those kind of ancient house. It's something because it's very unique. It's like an antique house. 四合院. So a lot of Amor love to buy. In the past, they will try to buy big for it 四合院. And the price went up this high.
Wow. Okay.
Something is unique.
Yeah. What about Jurong West Coast area, Taman Jurong area? You know, the problem of the HSR cancellation, will it affect all this? Do you see any growth potential there?
Okay. HSR. Now, back then, I think in 2018, there are people who were selling Twin View, Park Rivera, Whistler Grand. The HSR is being cancelled. As of today, if you really check the transaction there, right, I think they have they're making a good margins, 100 to 100,000 easily. Depend on sizes as well. So I think that
This Jurong
West Coast, that's West Coast,
okay.
correct. Taman Garden there. So quite near to Taman Garden. So back then they're betting on HSR. HSR is cancelled. But I think that you have to trust, one thing you have to trust and have faith in government plan. If the HSR failed to be materialized, I believe the government will have wonderful plans for Singapore, even in Jurong Lake itself. This is the faith that I have in Singapore. I'm not trying to put good words out for government, nothing. Don't get me wrong, I'm very neutral party. I feel that having traveled to so many countries in the world, talking about security, everything.
No horse run, Singapore.
I don't like to travel. To be honest, I never like to travel because I feel that this is the safest place that I can ever stay in. Yeah.
Landed property, that's a good question. Now landed property are record price, we keep saying that because landed property is so limited. But frankly speaking, do you think that landed property will still continue to go up like crazy?
Okay, landed property.
Or gradually?
The inter-terrace, right? Inter-terrace or probably a semi-D, probably is
Where?
Important Pasir area. There's this place called the Senate Estate where my mentor stay, who is a property. I used to learn my skill from him. And he's the one who teach me values. Be good to parents. Take care of your loved one. Okay. So basically, he bought a semi-D back then in 2008 at 1.5 million. Today, the semi-D there, right? These days, a semi-D around Singapore, more than that, 4 million.
In
Easily
Potong
4
Pasir?
million. 4 million, 4.5.
Wow.
This is the market price. Landed is because it's very niche. Supply is very limited.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And of course, Singaporeans are doing well. More Singaporean are getting more affluent. So they have the aspiration to aim higher landed. Because ND is a freehold. The land belong to you. Level 1, the built-in. Level 2, built-in. Level 3, it all belong to you. And the floor area can be 4 to 5,000 square feet. Compared to a condo, there's only one level. So typically a landed owner their mindset, which I talked to them before, they always love to buy landed, if not a cluster landed. They feel that Wuhua. If I tell them about condo, right, they may not buy my idea because they're so used to staying in a condo. Land is mine, floor area.
Landed house.
Yeah, landed house.
I see.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Okay, wait. Okay. One or two more questions. Okay. Wait. Just now, West Coast commercial. Okay. Someone asked a very personal question to you. Dragon Tan, do you serve only high-end clients, or you serve ordinary people like us also?
I've met different groups of people. People who probably are staying in a 2-room flat, all the way to people who bought a landed through me as well. So that's me. I meet friends and I meet good friends around, regardless of their social status code. I mean, to me, we are just human. We come with nothing, and they will just leave this world with nothing. Everybody is same. But I enjoy learning from people who give me good values. So I don't care who you are. I don't care about whether you are rich or you're poor. If you're my good friend, means you're always my good friend.
Yeah, but do you serve ordinary people also?
Yes, I serve HDB dwellers as well.
Okay.
People who upgrade, private owner, people who are probably stay in the 2-room flat, the elderly. Typically, I'll take care more of the old folks because 老人家不可以欺负. That's my principle in life.
Okay. Two very interesting questions. What about food factories? I think you talk about central kitchens and things like that, right? Okay. What about those areas?
Food factory is very niche. I think there's something probably in Sembawang area, the food exchange.
What is food factory? Sorry.
It's a central kitchen.
Central
Where you
kitchen.
just prepare food.
Okay.
I think that there's a demand for it. Supply is not a lot. If you check online, there's a list. I think in Kallang Pudding, there's also some area.
Ubi area
also.
Yeah.
As well as Woodland Admiralty area.
One of the company that I advise, Nasty Cookie, they have a central kitchen there. Yesterday I met another one also, I think around in
demand
the
is
area.
Bedok as well, Bedok North as well. Yeah, so it's very niche, and there's a growing demand for F&B, a lot of F&B.
Is it a license thing? The government has said only these few can be food factory
For
or
industrial, we have B1 and B2 zoning.
Okay.
So for food, right, you need to be in a designated area where the zoning is of lighter industrial usage.
I see. So
It cannot
that
be in a-
more hygienic.
It cannot be in a B2 where you have a lot of welding, engineering
I
going
see,
on.
I see. Okay. See, Kiang Ai, I tell you, I invite really, really streetwise Kiang Nang here, walao, you all must. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, anyway, it's past 11. I need to let him go. We can talk non-stop
11,
until 12. I can talk non-stop until 12, for this topic. Property, everybody loves property. The best part is everybody think they are expert in property, okay? Now, I, for one, I don't profess to be a property expert, okay? But today, I benefited tremendously from this very wise man that comes to property. I learned how do we judge how to buy a property if you want to make money, right? A lot of people ask me this way, but this one teach real kung fu. How do you pick a property, right? And these are really, these are real kung fu, I want to end with this story, this very interesting story, right? Okay, and so that you will watch this video again, because what he thought was quite interesting, and in fact, I watched my speakers, I watched my speakers talk again and again. Okay, have you all watched the TV series or read the book? Journey to the West. CUT,
Yes.
right? Journey to the West, right? There is Sun Wukong, monkey god, and then he has got for those people who don't know this monkey god Sun Wukong, right? The one that is monkey by born out of stone. He got this incredible pole and things like that. Very interestingly, he was first appointed because he was first appointed as a official taking care of the heavenly horses. Okay, 弼马温, you remember? So he take care of all the horses, and he didn't realize that he wanted to be a guan, but he realized that he was given a shit role. Okay, given a shit role. Then he was very, very angry. Then he went to make a big fuss in front of the emperor, the heavenly emperor. The heavenly emperor said, "Okay, I'll make you 齐天大圣," okay, which means a very high-ranking officer in the heavenly palace. Okay, and eventually he was still not happy, and then the Yu Di, which is the Jade emperor, was so mad at him. He sent all his heavenly troops and all his heavenly generals to go secure him. Thanks, love from Malaysia. Nice meeting from Malaysia. So Sun Wukong was being surrounded by all the Quan and all the generals, whatever, but he whacked the shit out of everybody. Eventually, the heavenly realm got to seek help from Buddha himself. Okay, by the way, I'm a Christian now, but I'm just saying this story is very interesting. Okay, and Buddha with his superpower, create this Wu Zi San and just grab him and slam him down, and he cannot trap below for 500 years. After that, then the Sifu came, this monk, and then together with the Zhu Bajie and then Sa Zhan, and then finally they went journey west. Very interesting. This is Sun Wukong. I explained why I tell you this big story. It's very important. Very important. Sun Wukong, with all his super might, create a whole big mess. The whole government in the heaven cannot control him and things like that. But along the way, in the journey to the west, he met all sorts of 妖魔鬼怪. He met you know, the spider demon, the fox, the all sort of people, and he kena whack left, right, center, you know. This is one guy that slammed down the whole, created havoc in the heavenly palace, but yet in the journey to the west while protecting his master, he kena chalat from all these little demons here and there. Right? He almost lost. In fact, he lost most of the time, and he got to seek help from this little deity here, this Guan Yin here, and you know, remember the whole story. If you all read this story, very very interesting. He went and finally he achieved the goal. What's the moral story, Mr. Wu telling this story? Okay. The analogy of this is this: Sun Wukong, okay, like many experts around, so-called experts around, okay, right? A lot of them are theory experts, right? They are theory experts. They've never been to the ground. Corporate people, especially, right? VCs, they have got a lot of experience in corporate life and things like that, right? They survive well, but you know what? These people, okay, they don't know how to become how to do street level fighting. The real money, the real fighting happens on the ground. You put these people onto journey to the west and you see what they become. I was like that. I was in the corporate world, right? We think ourselves very good, but when we reach the ground, we got to slap right center, kena rap all chi, all bakat, all this, and then as ground entrepreneurs, as ground people learning how to make money, then we season. Why Mr. Lu can teach you all this kind of thing is because I've been right seasoned along the way as an entrepreneur, as an investor, and all this handling all these companies. Then I wake up. Dragon Tan, and the other speakers, they are all the people on the ground that know the trick to real wealth building. We are teaching you real skills today. No one I have ever heard taught me what Dragon Tan taught me today about how to make money in property. You agree with me, right? Real, okay, real ground level, street level fighting and win. These strategies are incredible. If you agree with me, give a blast of like, especially those who are at YouTube. But 450 of you are only 256 likes. Okay, cool, right? Good. Okay, cool. Okay, I don't profess I'm Su Kong, but if I'm Su Kong means I'm being better left, right, center. Okay, we all want to do well in life, but I've invited street level fighters, and I want to be one also. We all want to pick up all these skills along the way. Okay, cool. Okay, good. With this, okay, give a one more round of applause, to Dragon Tan, our guest speaker today. Okay,
thank you.
Give a like to him, especially those in YouTube, and have a wonderful night. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Eileen. Yeah, thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Eileen.
Good rest, everybody. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Good weekend.
Thanks, Charlene. Okay. Yeah, Jenny. Thank you. Okay. Desrina. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, BB. Okay. From the ground and speak the truth, not sales point. Yeah, okay, damn good. Okay, remember Dragon Tan, Google his name, his telephone number I cannot remember. Okay, Dragon his name, okay, when you need his service, please look for him. Okay, damn good guy, damn good guy. Cool. Okay, thanks everybody from Facebook, Facebook Premium Facebook, Premium.sg Facebook, and from YouTube as well. Really appreciate this sharing. Okay, damn good sharing today. I learned a lot from him.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned from. In fact, I learned a lot from all the speakers for last 3 days. Last three sessions.
Mr. Lu was very kind to me. Yeah.
No, yeah.
受之无愧.
Yeah. 当之有愧.
当之有愧. 当之有愧. 当之有愧.
是当之有愧. 当之无愧. Sorry.
当之无愧. 当之
无愧. Sorry.
Chinese need to brush up.
I'm more
need to brush up.
Okay. Yes, but he's really 当之无愧. Yeah, 当之无愧. That really is really very very good. Okay. Really very good, right? We all appreciate his talk, right?
Because we just want to spread the values to as many Singaporeans as possible. Because I think that a lot of Singaporeans are in the midst of working, money. So the life become very shallow, very superficial. I think life is more than anything. End day, it's about your loved one. It's about your loved one. You work so hard for what? It's not go home, get so stressed out and quarrel with your wife, right? No. It's for your loved one.
Very good. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Lu, always best. Yeah. So this mark me and B about to go overseas again. Okay. We spend part of our time overseas back to Europe, right? So we're gonna fly again. this marks the end of this month's expert talk. Next month when I'm back, okay, not next month. I'm flying April. Yeah, next month I'm back in May. I will invite a few more speakers. Okay, we will definitely invite Dragon Time back again to get an update in months to come. Okay, what's happening in the market again? I think that's very important. Cool. Okay, and I'll give one update. I think the next few days, you should see me 1 or 2 more times again, giving, especially B gotta start I can start returning her channel back. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay. Good. Okay. So thank you everybody. Have a good night. Have a good rest. Okay, we'll see you probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Okay, cool. All right, good. Okay, so I'm gonna sign off right now. Okay, good night, Ivy. Please do not delete video. Go to YouTube. Just for those people on Facebook, please key in the code 1M65YT+1 and then go and subscribe to the page. Okay, subscribe to the page and then remember give a like at the video. Okay. Please spend more time with Army Boys. I am spending as much time as I can with my kids. This is top my priority. Okay, yes, okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate everybody spending a night with us. Okay, 1M65YT+1. Go to YouTube channel. Quickly hit subscribe. The video is there. Okay, Facebook videos will be purged over time. Okay, we have to purge it. It's the wrong channel to put all this, but B is very kind to let me use the channel to talk to you all. Okay, and I hope you guys learn a lot from all our speakers. Okay, don't just think that I'm the know-all person. I'm not. Okay, cool. Okay, all right, good. Okay, all right, good. Okay, I'm gonna off. Wait, the people are still keying the YM 6 hour T5. So this is the time where I quickly take a peek at the stock market, and today is Saturday.
Today off lah.
Today is Saturday. Today is Saturday.
Yeah.
Kwa simi lah. Yeah. Usually I take a peek at the stock market. Today. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. I'm gonna off it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night. Good night, everybody. Okay. I'm gonna off this right now and off this right now
cool,
and off
cool.
this right now
All right.
and off.
Okay, 帮刚